Ole'Pops here. Sitting out here on my front porch. Was looking at the weather report. It says we're gonna get rain a couple of hours. I was watching a Tennessee game earlier, and they wrapped it right up. Beat Missouri today. Got a bush full of birds here trying to come up, decide whether or not they want to come on up and eat. They're not used to me being out here. But anyway, I got a little something I wanted to talk to y'all about. First off, I want to thank my good cuz Jim Short. Got these birds in my sight here. They're trying to decide whether or not they want to come on up. They're trying to decide if it's safe. I mean, they recognize me as the guy that fills their feeder. It's needing filling now, but they're trying to decide whether or not they want to come on up to it. I looked out on the front porch earlier today. I got an email from him telling me to check my, a text from him telling me to check my front porch. And I looked out there and there was a box. He told me happy birthday. It's not my birthday, but he told me belated happy birthday. And he had sent me this pipe. I don't know why it isn't my birthday, but it's a beauty. It's a real pretty thing. Nice little apple shape. Awful nice of him. Awfully nice of him. But it smokes mighty well. But I wanted to share it with y'all. And my cream soda. In my CJP koozie. While I take notes with my CJP line writing ballpoint pen, it's a good writing ink pen. It's got a stylus on the other end. But I wanted to talk to y'all about why people start smoking. Why do y'all think people start smoking? And what keeps people smoking? A major effort's been launched in the last, it started happening back in the 70s when they launched that campaign against Joe Cool, the Campbells, to get people away from smoking. But here, in the last little bit, state and federal law has increased restrictions on where you can smoke. No smoking signs have gone up all over the place. Taxes have been levied on tobacco and smoking products. Study after study has linked tobacco use with one health problem and another. First, of course, there's lung cancer, heart disease. 1 in 10 adults, more than 5 million Americans per year die from tobacco-related illnesses, they say. But still, people continue to smoke. According to the American Heart Association, 21.1 American males and 23.1 American females, which is almost 20% of the population, smokes. It's a lot when you stop to think about it, especially with the campaign that's been launched against it. So, what makes people start it to begin with? There was a study done not too long ago to come up with the 10 main reasons why people start smoking. Good Lord. There must be 30, I know you got to be able to hear them, but there must be 30 sparrows in that bush. I'm almost scared. They're coming right on up that feeder now. I'm afraid I turn, if I move and turn that camera around, they'll all run. But anyway, the number 10 reason was peer pressure. While there are certainly other influences that can lead people to use tobacco, peer pressure was the number 1. Number 9 was social reward. Although many adults mature beyond their needs to constantly please their peers, they feel a need to fit in social settings. But the one that gets me is parental influence. Yeah, parental influence. The relationship between parents smoking and their children smoking is blunt. Children of active smokers are more likely to start smoking than children of non-smokers. According to some studies, a parent's choice to smoke can more than double the odds of a child smoking. I thought about that one. And it really left an impact on me when I gave it a lot of thought, because I've got 4 grown children. And at one time, all 4 of them smoked. One of them quit. Now, one of them did not live with me until they had already started smoking. And when they moved in, oh, that's clothes. Anyway, I'm sorry. And after they moved in with me, they quit smoking. And one of them did not live with me at all and started smoking. So I have to attribute those two to peer pressure. And I have to think I had nothing to do with that. But the other two, I have to think that I had something to do with, because they noticed me smoking day after day. And at the time, it was both pipe and cigarette. Now I don't smoke cigarettes, and I haven't in some years. My middle daughter still smokes cigarettes. My son has quit smoking. Mini-Me vapes, but she doesn't smoke anymore. Who does that leave? Jess. Jess still smokes. Who am I forgetting? Jess, Emily, Gracie, and Justin. Justin quit smoking. Emily still smokes. Jess still smokes. She smokes cigarettes and a pipe and a vape. Justin does not smoke. And anyway, that's got all four of them. But I wanted to share something with you. Mark Twain's autobiography, he's always been one of my favorite writers, even as a child. Everyone always considered him a children's book writer, and he never did. He never considered himself a children's book writer. He was just a writer of essays and fiction and nonfiction, but he never considered himself a children's book writer. But he was very popular with children because of the characters and the simplicity of his writing. But his autobiography recalls how he was pressured into taking up tobacco chewing as a young boy, only to make himself sick. The experience resembles the moment when Huck Finn teaches Tom Sawyer and Joe Harper how to smoke during their private adventure on the Mississippi River island in the adventure of Tom Sawyer. And I would like to share that with you. It's from chapter 16 of The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. And it starts about midway through the chapter. After a dainty egg and fish dinner, Tom said that he wanted to learn to smoke now. Joe caught at the idea and said he would like to try it too, so Huck made pipes and filled them. These novices had never smoked anything before but cigars made of grapevine, and they bit the tongue and were not considered manly anyway. Now they stretched themselves out on their elbows and began to puff. Charlie, and with slender confidence, the smoke had an unpleasant taste and they gagged a little. But Tom said, "Why, it's just as easy. If I'd have known this was all, I'd have learned long ago." "So would I," said Joe. "It's just nothing. Why, many a time I've looked at people smoking and thought, well, I wished I could do that, but I never thought I could," said Tom. "That's just the way with me. Ain't it, Huck? You heard me talk just that way, ain't you, Huck?" "I'll leave it to Huck if I haven't." "Yeah, heaps of times," said Huck. "Well, I have too," said Tom. "Oh, hundreds of times. Once down at the slaughterhouse. Don't you remember, Huck? Bob Tanner was there, and Johnny Miller and Jeff Thatcher when I said it. Don't you remember, Huck? About me saying that?" "Yeah, that's so," said Huck. "That was the day after I lost that white alley. No, 'twas the day before." "There, I told you so," said Tom. "Huck recollects it. I believe I could smoke this pipe all day," said Joe. "I don't feel sick." "Neither do I," said Tom. "I could smoke it all day, and I bet if Jeff Thatcher couldn't." "Jeff Thatcher? Why, he'd kneel over just the way two draws. Just let him try it once. He'd see. I bet he would. And Johnny Miller? I wish I could see Johnny Miller tackle it once." "Oh, don't I?" said Joe. "Why, I bet you Johnny Miller couldn't any more do this than nothing. Just one little sifter would fetch him." "Deed it would, Joe. Say, I wish the boys could see us now." "So do I." "Say, boys, don't say anything about it. And sometime, when they're around, I'll come up to you and say, 'Joe, got a pipe? I want to smoke.' And you'll say, kind of careless like, as if it weren't anything, you'll say, 'Yeah, I got my old pipe and another one, but my tobacco ain't very good.' And I'll say, 'Oh, that's all right, if it's strong enough.' And then you're out with the pipes and we'll light up just as calm, and then just see them look. Jeans, that'll be gay, Tom. I wish it was now. So do I. And when we tell them we learned when we was off pirating, won't they wish they'd been along? Oh, I reckon not. I'll just bet they will." So the talk ran on, but presently it began to flag a trifle and grow disjointed. The silences widened, the expectations marvelously increased. Every pore inside the boys' cheeks became a sprouting fountain. They could scarcely bail out the cellars under their tongues fast enough to prevent an inundation. Little overflowings down their throats occurred in spite of all they could do, and sudden retchings followed every time. Both boys were looking very pale and miserable now. Joe's pipe dropped from his nervous fingers. Tom's followed. Both fountains were going furiously, and both pumps bailing with might and main. Joe said feebly, I've lost my knife. I reckon I better go find it." And Tom said with quivering lips and halting utterances, "I'll help you. You go over that way, and I'll hunt around by the spring. No, you needn't come, Huck. We can find it." So Huck sat back down again and waited for an hour. Then he found it lonesome and went to find his comrades. They were wide apart in the woods, both very pale, both fast asleep. But something informed him that if they had had any trouble, they had gotten rid of it. They were not talkative at supper that night. They had a humble look, and when Huck prepared his pipe after the meal and was going to prepare theirs, they said no. They were not feeling very well. Something they ate at dinner had disagreed with them. The Adventures of Mark Twain. Light them up. Happy smokes. I'm Ole'Pops. Much love.